Okay, back to Stellaris. I've just rewatched the last one and posted it to YouTube. Again, every time you rewatch your own work, you'll find little things that you've missed or that you've were talking about and then forgot to finish up on. So we'll load the tuber. Okay, so what I want to focus on this game, or this video actually, is just wiping out these enemies along the back here and just building my empire up here. Getting some stations built, getting that resource, that research, and I forgot to explain earlier when these guys said, even though they don't like us because we've got conflicting governmental views, they asked for a peace. So we'll just go to the contact and we'll see here we've got +2. Wise spiritualists and trust. So they trust us 22. Spiritualist is +10, so that's 32. They're xenophobes, so they'll always be -20. But over the next 10 years, we'll get +10 from the new contact. So overall, we're at 2 now, so we should have +12. Equivalent. They've got a fleet power superior to us, but the equivalent is the same, meaning they've got basically a fleet of 22 like we do, and their technology is similar to ours. Now the reason their technology is similar to ours and they had all this extra research from the mining is because they only had the one planet, so they didn't suffer any negative effect from having extra planets. Now I can only assume there's a pirate station here of some sort, and that's why they haven't built up this way. But yeah, they had all this research going, and that just increased their research. So their research is similar to ours, and then with this civilization, -38. Again, the fleet power is superior to us. Naval capacity should be equal, and the technology is somewhat equal. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to build as many outposts as I can, try to get as much resources as I can, get my energy up. How did I lose all that? Oh, that's right, I gave it to the other empire, didn't I? I should have kept it at +3,000 because that would have kept the factions happy. Solid. Yeah, so they would have been a little bit happier if I had kept it. So obviously, so keeping it below 3,000 won't make them unhappy, but keeping it above 3,000 should give me a little bit of a bonus. So we'll see how that happens when I keep building. Again, this one arrow makes it slow. You just want to go a little bit faster, but not too fast, because a lot of things can happen, as you noticed with the last video. I think I kept that at 2 all the way through, and it was still popping up everywhere. So I want to make sure the constructor can build one outpost here. And then what I'll do is I'll build the outpost along the outside and then connect it to the sector of Alpha Centauri. Okay, so I'll show you the new component on the ship build. Hopefully I was correct. New research. Again, these two have gone up a little bit from like 100 to 2 because I researched that second lot of debris, got more research from it. This is when you get your science ships in orbit, which I don't do. Again, another computer chip for your ships, and more shields. Again, shields I try to avoid because as long as you keep your armor up and your weapons damage high, they're going to burn through the shields pretty quick. So you want to keep your armor and your weapons fire as strong as possible. Again, this is more of a warlike game now, from what I could tell. So you might have to unpause. I'll have to keep remembering that. You might have to keep your shields up on this version, but we'll see how we go. My shields are pretty low, and I still did pretty well against the enemy. So we'll just see how we go for the next couple of years. Okay, it's this. Okay, so is that them? No, that's okay. So they've opened their borders to us.
System
I don't
survey complete.
think our borders are open here, but it doesn't really matter because apart from taking a shortcut through their empire, We can always just go around anyway and research. It doesn't really matter that much. But with open borders, you can always get to a swapping of populations. But with xenophobes, it's very unlikely they're going to want to swap populations. The more population, the more diversity within your empire, I think the happier my people will be, but the less happy theirs will be, because I am a xenophile which likes aliens, and they're xenophobes which hate them. Okay, construct us building the outpost, and we'll see if this drops from 18 and 9 down once that's finished. So it should drop down to 17 and stay at 9 if it's going to take the energy, but I think an outpost is a lot cheaper than anything else. Again, there's 4 energy, 2 minerals, so if I get -1 of each, I'm going to have +1 and +3 anyway, so it's going to pay for itself.
System survey complete.
Okay, that should be its last one, I think. That's the other one. This one. He's finished. Yep, he's sleeping. So I don't want to care about the factions, sectors. I don't worry about. I want to put him on automatic.
Construction complete.
Oh, look at that. That is a huge bubble. The planet only has a little bit, and the starbase has a huge bubble. So I don't know why. Okay, so again, it connects. So I'm hoping that if I build one here, pretty much there might be a little bubble in the middle, but I'm pretty sure all of that will be within my influence. So my ships, that's my constructor, my military. So if you want to merge, you just hit the shift key, click on one military, click on the other, and there's a merge icon. Fleet manager. No, they've changed it again. There used to be a merge right here. Okay, I'll go to fleet manager of this one, and can I reinforce? No? Oh, I might have to create a template first. New template. Honestly don't know. They've completely changed everything about this military setup. Okay, what I'll do is I'll click here. Where are they? There they are. This one is here. So what I'll do is I'll have my main fleet, and this second fleet I'll right click on here, and what they'll do is no matter where this fleet goes, this one will follow them. They might jump a little later than your main fleet, but I can't seem to merge them. I can split the fleet, but reinforce. Cannot afford to reinforce. I should be able to afford it, because I've got one. Anyway, I'm going to send them to the pirate station and try to wipe that out as soon as possible, so they don't build any more fleets. I'll take it off aggressive, so if the fleet does come out, it will leave the space station. I'll be able to take out the fleet and then get the space station separately. Because you try to take them both on at the same time, which I think the station is here, so the fleet's going to come from here down to here to attack. Then once I wipe them out, I'll come out and fight the station. Hopefully it's not going up past 72. I'll find out in a second. 72, so it hasn't gone up any further. And there's the other fleet following it. There doesn't seem to be any fleets in the system, so I should be able to take out this station very, very easily. Now this might not even be their main station. This might be a secondary station. The one I destroyed would have been the third station. So I really got to ignore that for now and just go along this arm and see if there's anything. But there was nothing here when the constructor was there, and there was nothing here because I built the station. So this should be their only station.
Aggressor station.
Okay. His shields are going down.
Complete.
His shields are going down. Station shields are almost completely
Handshake
gone.
protocols activated.
Yes, I will take your research. Okay, so whatever they've researched, my research will take less time, and whatever I've researched, their research will take less time. So as long as, just say they've researched weapons a lot, and I haven't, I've been researching other things, my weapons research should go up a lot quicker. So I'll agree to this, because any sort of research agreement is always helpful for yourself. And let's see, was there any... No, debris obviously just comes from ship damage, not station damage. But I will check my station. It said I got a module earlier, but I couldn't find it. So if I go to my station build, there might be an option to add a module. Okay, so this is the last one. So when I get this, consumer goods will drop. Okay, so you can see up here, consumer goods are costing 23.27. So once I get this and get all 5 and activate it, our consumer goods will drop by 20%. In addition, we will unlock one ascension pack. Okay, so we'll do this. So what was it? 23.27. So we'll okay that. 19.22. So we dropped 4 points. Now I can grab one of these, and again, I think for every one of these, it's the exact same list. You've just got to choose from the list what you want. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, if I counted that right, there's about 26 different options. Okay, so we're on pause, so we'll just quickly read through the ones that are highlighted. I would assume the ones in grey are... Yeah, so you have to unlock one, so this could be a second level to one of these. I'm not sure... Yeah. Xenophobe. So some of these are from when you start your empire. If you choose a specific ethic when you're building your empire, it will knock out some of these projects that you can actually do. So we'll start up here, Interstellar Dominion. So this sounds like a warlike kind of taking over, which is probably something I'm not going to want. Starbase influence cost, claim influence cost. So influence isn't really a big deal for me at this point. This is something you might choose later on when you get into a lot of systems and more empires. You might choose this later on, but for a beginning one, it's not very important. Nothing. Okay, technology. Okay, now this one looks like it's going to be very good. 10% research. So let's go to our research tab. So 15. Up here. Sorry. So this will all go up by 10%. So this will be 9.35. So that'll be almost 1 full point of research, just under 1 point, and that will be just above 1.2, almost 1.3 extra research, and that's a really good starting off point for your research. So we'll have a look at that as being a possibility. Okay, one vision. Ooh, plus 10% unity and governing ethics. Again, I think that affects factions. They'll be less likely to leave your empire. Nation, one people staying all after all house divine. And this again, one vision. I think one of the factions. What was the last one? Adopting diplomacy traditions. Okay. Diplomacy. So adopting these will make them happy, but also I think this one might make them happy as well, because this is also a diplomacy sort of thing. So this should be tomb worlds. Unlock planetary edicts. 100 years, increase population happiness, increase spiritual ethics attraction, increase growth speed. Blah, blah, blah. Ooh. So this might be where you can turn your Gaia world into a hollowed planet, like a holy planet. This might be the one that unlocks it, but I'm not entirely sure. But it's an edict you have to spend. I'm pretty sure you spend influence on activating. It lasts for 100 years. I assume it'd be expensive, but the output you get from that is really worth it. We'll have to look at that one as well. Mastery of nature. Okay, this is the edict where you can unlock a tile on your planet to get more building spaces, up to the size of 25. So some planets actually start off at a size 25, which means you won't get any extra tiles. But anything that's 24, you're guaranteed to get 25 because you get at least one. And then from 23, you'll get 1 or 2, and then so forth. The smaller the planet, the more likely you are to get 3. The bigger the planet, the less likely. So that will be more important later on in the game. Early on, your population's still growing, so it's not a huge issue. And again, I don't know if you get any bonus resources on those extra tiles, or they're just blank tiles you can build on. So it's not something I'm going to focus on just yet. Core systems plus 5. So that'll be 10 straight off the bat. Now that is really good. Normally I only stick with 10, but if I can get 5 and 5 is 10 and another 5, 15 planets in the system, that's really, really good. But again, being beginning of the game, you're not going to waste your perk on that just yet. You want to wait till later on when you've got a larger empire to focus on. Okay, the edicts last about 11 years, so if you use this one, they'll last 22. Again, I'm not one for using edicts all that much to start off with, so I'm not going to bother with this one. Subject is ready for its cost. The original placement. Oh, I think this is when you have a smaller empire that is under your control, not control, your protection. They become a vessel of your empire, and integrating them costs points. Now this is going to cost them 50% less points to bring them in. So again, this is not really needed until later on in the game when you've got smaller empires that you want to bring in. A faction that splinters off from your empire won't necessarily be automatically against your empire. They might still be friends because you share a lot of the ethics, but they're just a separate empire themselves. So I don't want that one just yet. I want to get my research up, so that's really important. Monthly unity, if I can get this to jump up more, so I'll get 7.3 more, so I'll be 80.3. Where are we? Oh no, 80.3, that's how much I need. 10%, so I'll get 2 extra points a month. Dropping that down, 2 points. That is something I'm going to look at later. Again later. I think I'll grab one of these two. Governing ethic attraction. That will be very good to discourage factions from growing. Let me see. Technology. I'll go for the research because I can just research more options to get more unity from different buildings. So I'll go for the technology. We'll see if this jumps up. This should go to about 10. That might stay below 10, but it should go to 9 for sure. Now we'll go up to close to 14. So we'll see if this affects the research. Yes. And nothing's... Oh, might have to wait to the end of the month before it activates. So we'll see how this goes at the end of the month. So consumer goods have dropped by 4 points. This should go up by 10%.
Anomaly found.
I'll research that anomaly. No, it didn't change. Maybe it's this thing here. This is 10% better. Yeah, there you go, 10% better. So that's going to go 10% faster. So it's 10% on that anyway. So you got 12, but that 12 goes into here and gets 10% better. Okay, so we'll go back to the galactic thing. I will move my constructor over, got more than enough. I will build an outpost here. Floating creature having gold bodies, gases, blah 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 blah. Frequent lightning storms. Okay, so it's just a planetary thing. So I'll check here. Should have. So I think maybe
System survey complete.
Maybe if I destroy those drones, I might get an artifact from it because it might be part of the same empire. So I'll close that off. My constructor is on its way. And again, once this outpost is built, we'll see what happens with our influence bubble. I'm hoping to, if not like a little bubble of nothing here, this whole thing hopefully will include itself. For each system you get, it increases the influence empire-wide, or if I haven't changed it too much from the previous version. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to send my fleets back to upgrade. I'll send that one back to upgrade. So they'll all upgrade, and it should bring them above 300, and that should be close to 50. And then we'll see. We have encountered some form of invading vessel in strange objects have been flagged. Okay, so let's see. How could I be out in the middle of nowhere? Okay, apparently I met them out here, which makes absolutely no sense. Where are my science vessels like? Okay, here we are. So this alien... Oh, it's their ship. So what's this one got? Oh, here we go. What's this?
System survey complete.
Okay, so this is another alien empire, possibly. They're surveying the same system, so they probably come from up here, and their system should be here. So I should get contact. Probably next month they might try to contact me. We'll see what happens.
Ships upgraded.
Hell yeah. No chain. Oh, it must have been armor that upgraded, not weapons. Okay. Again, I've got to get 1,000. Yeah, I need to get my ships up to 1,000. So, again, my minerals are going up somehow. What did I research to put that up? Check my planet's surface. They're good. Alpha Centauri should be doing their own thing, but sometimes you gotta... Energy, don't really need energy output. Their energy output is 14, and then let's have a look at the Gaia world. They need minerals, so can I build a mineral for them? I can, and I will. Build mining network, and where's the other one? Here, need a level 2 planet. Level 2. You've got to upgrade the reassembled ship into a capital building, and then you can build the level 2 buildings. So I'll build this for now. I really prefer that they build energy rather than research.
Research complete.
But this is a research. Okay, so this must be that science vessel I interacted with. Okay, there's xenophobes again. Ah, everyone is hating everyone and everything. Xenophobes cannot give aliens. So, migration treaties. They won't give a migration treaty because their citizenship is only their own genetic alien makeup. Military cert. Okay. Oh, so if they enslave, cannot allow alien full military service. So if they enslave an empire and they become part of their empire, they can't join the military. Cannot use refugees. Okay. So again, the three that I've encountered are all xenophobes. So if they've got any refugees, they'll come directly to me anyway, just because the other three just won't accept them. Cannot use unrestricted. How can they be pacifists and xenophobes? Okay, well I'm just going to say divinity again because that's what we're trying to go for. Yeah, so they're going to focus.
Complete.
They're going to focus on their research because that's a research sector. Even though I'd like to get their energy going, but their population is growing so fast that the research is going to be cleared out pretty quick. They can have 1, 2, 3 more buildings. So I'll actually build the energy, so they'll more than likely go there. And again, with the minerals, you can get a processor that enhances the output by 10%. And once you get the energy upgraded, you can do the same for the energy. So 4. Actually, I'll build these for them. Okay, what's this? Command limit plus 10. So that should have... Oh no, it would be 18 instead of 8. New research. Starhold. So this will help upgrade your starbase from an outpost to a starbase to a starhold. Don't care about army damage, railgun. And again, you can see these are slowly going up on their own. I haven't researched any of them. I'm just researching the debris left by alien vessels, and those things will come up. Now, if in a pinch I need to upgrade them, I can just start upgrading, start researching, and they'll already halfway through, you know, so it's not going to take as long as researching a new one. So I'm going to research the railgun, just because there's already this autocannon's already been researched. I'll research this one, and that'll just help increase my military power. I'll unpause, and I'll focus on this one up here. I'll back up here, and then the bubble should burst out. Let's hope it's going to be a big
Construction complete.
Dang it. So the influence, like you can see the curve here, so obviously that planetary system in itself will output influence. Continental world. Should I... I will colonize that later on. For now I'm going to leave it, but when I colonize it, I'll connect it around to my technology. Not my technology, sorry, my energy. So that all of these systems in this area, you can see there's a planet there, no planet there. Don't even know there's a planet there. So if I clear this out, I'll connect all this and have this all as energy research. And then once they get to a point where they can populate, colonize another planet, because this system would be within their influence, they're going to colonize it. Now I think the planet has to be above a certain percentage, like 80%, because the higher the happiness, the higher, the better the population is going to grow. So I don't think they'll automatically colonize unless it's above a certain percentage, but I'm not entirely sure what that percentage is.
System survey complete.
So we'll get the constructor to construct one here. Constructor. I did click on it. Why did it disappear? Build another outpost here. What I'm going to do is click on this outpost and see. Defenses, don't have any, don't need any just yet. See, the defense was 200, now it's 204 because I've upgraded the weapons. So the weapon's going to cost more to build and therefore more to maintain. So every time you upgrade a weapon or a shield or something, that's going to go up. No shipyard built, nothing built. So it doesn't actually tell me what it costs to maintain this. Ship upkeep, no, okay. So star bases don't cost minerals to maintain, they cost...
Fleeing aggressors.
Okay, where's this at? And this is ancient mining drones again, 600. Ah, that's near them. Who cares?
System survey complete.
So I won't attack these, because if I attack these now, even if I had the fleet power to attack it, I can't colonize or do anything here, so they're going to come in and take the system anyway, because they're the closest to it. So I'll leave that alone for now, and if I ever get the chance to build my empire out this way, and then I'll attack and then build an outpost straight away, not giving them a chance to build an outpost before I do. So the constructor is on its way to the primitive culture. So once I've got a starbase built in their system, I will build a observation post, and then we'll check how far the society jumps. Now if it hasn't changed, it should be 8 points of society, so I'll double the society output, hopefully. Okay, so they've upgraded. No upgrades available. Max health. Okay, so I want to... So I think it was 138 the last time I built a ship. It might have gone up because I upgraded the shields. So 142. So it's gone up by 4 points. But now that I've got destroyers, I'm going to save up and build 2 of those. Yeah, 2 of those to make this a fleet of 8. And we'll see if they actually join this fleet or this fleet. Doesn't really matter which fleet they join as long as the fleets get bigger. Okay. Has that got planets? It does. Okay. That doesn't. Yeah, so I might build outposts on the star systems that have the primitive empires, just so I can build my... See, they've got a primitive empire here, and they can build an observation post. They've got 2, actually. Oh, they've actually colonized the system.
Survey complete.
They've colonized the planet within that system with the empire. What's this? Oh, they found a gateway. They found the gateway. I knew it would be in this. I knew at least one of them would be here. A wormhole or a gateway. So they found that. So if I want to control my military might and be able to send them to a specific area, I've got to destroy this empire to get to it, or have them join my federation so that I can gain control. Now, as you can see, they're spread out, so if I can colonize in here before they do, I can really expand my empire out. Okay, so let's assume that the only small giant blah blah blah. Okay, so I just wasted time researching something, but I always research everything. Okay. So, as far as I can tell, Starbase... Station upkeep is 4, Starbase is 2.7. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep an eye on this one now, and as soon as he finishes building this, I'll see if the station upkeep goes up. It should go up. Starbase should be an equal number, because Starbases cost 1 energy. So it should be 2 or 3. I don't know why it's 2.7. Maybe because I upgraded one halfway. Again, I don't want to see the star bases. I just want to focus on the soul one. And again, if the cost isn't too much, I'm just going to build a star base in every single system that I can, just so I can get the resources from them. Which is what I should have done in the first place, but I didn't realise that the costs have dropped so dramatically.
Fleeing aggressors.
What's this? Another drone. Oh, jeez, how many... Huh? Oh, there's one here and here. So a lot of drones. So maybe there's No, maybe it's up here then. There might be a sleeping empire up here. Okay, so now I've got to replace a scientist, and it's obviously one of the researchers, not a science captain. So I'll pause that. Okay, that. So he died. He's fleeing, and then we'll go to the research and you see that the researcher's died. Again, we can have a look at biology. So he's the society one. So biology's going to come up in society. So that might be a very good one. Again, not really fussed about lifespan because they're pretty cheap to replace. And this is something you'd use on a science ship. So I'm going to recruit him there. Close that off. Have a look at my science captains. What's this? Probably only one that was of any use. Survey speed. And see, you can see before one of the captains had 2 stars and a new option, new bonus. He's got 4 stars. She's got 4 stars, and she doesn't have a new bonus. So not every. You can probably get one for every star, or you won't get any. It's just a possibility of getting a new trait. Again, no traits here. Okay, well, I'm pausing. Keep going. So what I'm going to focus on, obviously, is building star bases and just getting my empire out this way. That way they will stop building when they get in contact. Can't build out further. If I can get through here before they close in on each other, I can build my empire out that way. I really got to focus on here. So once I've got that focused, I can start going this way again. But I really, really want to disarm to myself. I'm kind of focused on that arm. I don't know why. It's not really necessary at this point. The necessity would be getting into this area so that they can't grow towards me. I grow towards them.
Research complete.
Pause that, check the research. Hollow Temple. Now we'll go to the planet, and I'm pretty sure that the temple I built on that first square should be upgradable. Starbase capacity will be good, but I don't plan on building starbases as much as I plan on outposts. So this isn't really necessary early on in the game. It's somewhat cheap. Okay, so you've got to actually research the planetary capital to get to the 2nd level. You've actually got to research the 2nd level. Edict. Mineral production plus 20%. So that would be very useful. But as you can see, my minerals are starting to go up. Tile blocker. The more tiles on planet you can use, the better. So they're all pretty decent science research, but again, capacity is not important at this point. It doesn't matter if you've unlocked the tile, if you can't get more population bonuses from it, it's not worth it. So plus 2 unity, which will bring that up to 17. So I'm going to go for this one right now, and then I'll do the tile blocker next time if it pops up again. Okay, at this point, the constructor's taking too long to build stations. So what I'm going to do is get a constructor to observation post. Okay, so we'll keep an eye on that, and see what happens when it finishes. I'm going to build a second. Wait a minute, why can't I build it? Oh, I need to go to Starbase, don't I? No, I need Earth Star Port. Constructor. So I'm going to build a second constructor ship and have this one focus.
Handshake protocols activated.
Okay, so the 3rd Empire wants to. Non-aggression pact. Okay, I'll agree to that. So I'm going to have this constructor focus on just building along here, and then I'll have this other constructor focus on building out. So let's see, he's building the observation post. Okay. Come on, chameleon.
Construction complete.
Did I just construct? Constructor? Yeah, it was a constructor. Okay, so I'm going to have this constructor focus on this. And I'm just going to build star bases through here. And I'm going to have this one just focus up here. So this one's almost finished, and we'll see if it jumps up.
Construction
16.
complete.
Boom. Awesome. So this constructor can build another. Actually, let's see the maintenance. Station upkeep 5. Okay, so the stations cost probably 1 each. But again, if you're going to mine the resources within that, you've got +1, +3, +3. So it's worth it. It's worth maintaining these stations, and as your influence grows, you can actually delete some of these stations, and the influence bubble will overlap. So this one will grow out, this one will grow out, and eventually they'll overlap, and you can delete the station, and the cost will go down. But again, energy is you can see how easy it is, how keep the energy up. As long as you don't overbuild your empire, and get the penalties from having too many things to govern, well, you just got closer to me. You're just growing up. Yeah, so I want to build stations down that way and just get all the stations connected. Now I want the energy sector around here and the research sector over here. Sol will be by itself, like the only planet I will govern. But if I get to a larger planet that I'm happy with, I'll govern from those two. And if at some point those two, or I need to build another sector, that second planet can become a third sector again. So constructor is there, constructor is there. So they're going to keep building. Missing in action. I lost the scientist. The scientist died. I know the ship's disappeared. So what happens is sometimes when they hit here, they'll do an emergency exit and they'll just disappear into subspace or faster than light travel. But they should pop up somewhere, but it does take a while. As you can see, the month's over. It hasn't reset, so obviously he's lost in space. He's jumped somewhere. He's out in the middle of nowhere. He's trying to find a system that he can jump to, and we'll work out from there. Because even though there's nothing in this gap, there's like 1 million stars in there, possible star systems, but the only ones that are connected are these ones with warp travel gates. So we'll just see what happens as the game progresses. Okay, observation post. Now we'll have a quick look at this. So you can have the faction said they're happy with passive
complete.
A passive look at the empires. So I can leave this observation post as passive, but as here you can see aggressive, I can actually abduct them. I get an extra 2 points of research. If you look down the bottom there, it's 8, and then there's 10.
Complete.
Okay. You can build a station here. Okay, so there's 8 and 10, and then cost and gain. Where's the uplift? Oh, I think you've got a research uplift. So you can influence their empire. Yeah, so we can actually change their way of thinking so that when they become spacefaring, they'll actually think exactly like us. And if that happens, they're more than likely to join our empire immediately because they're just like us and they think we're like gods to them because we're the ones that kept their civilization. Like the Bronze Age, if we were to interfere in the space age technology we have, they'll think of us as gods. Okay.
Construction
We can
complete.
increase their technology, but again, it's not really worth it. And we
Research
can
complete.
alter our own people to look like them and infiltrate, but we don't have the technology for it. Technology, support, we almost lost that one again. Research. Okay, so that's the ship's computer core. Alternate research. Now this one's pretty good because, okay, that's the second level of the energy, just like I was describing earlier, the second level of mineral output. So that one is important, but not really because energy is good. So research alternatives will give us 4 options instead of just the 3. And with the 4 options, you just have a better chance of getting something you really want. It's going to take 152 months, but I'm going to be building these stations up. And once I've done this, the research is going to drop. So it's going to be 140. What was it? This one, 140. But it's going to drop when I get 3, 2, 2 over here. So I'll more than double this once I've got the stations and mining platforms up. So that will drop the research from 150 down halfway, so 75-ish, and then with bonuses on top of that I should get more and more. So constructor, I will get you to, I'll hit shift, I will build, why not? Why not? Do I need a space station to build? Well, I don't have the minerals for it, but it should just say that you need 90 minerals, but you just don't have it. This one's saying I can't actually do it at all. Okay, so 72. So I should be constructor. Can I? There you go. That's what I meant. Like it should say I need 135. I just don't have it. But it was saying before I couldn't do anything at all. Okay, so instead of
System survey complete.
yeah. So before I build more outposts, I will build the mining stations required to get more minerals to build them even faster, And again, the energy is going to drop 1 for every station. So if I build the mining station, it's going to go up +1. So I won't just maintain my energy, I'll put out more energy in the long run. Okay, so 130.
Construction complete.
Okay, you can go up here and wait. I'll leave you up here, and then once I get them... Actually, I didn't need to build a second constructor now that I think of it. Until I can get my minerals... The edge of returns. Strong reduce. Okay, I think when I chose to start the game, I only started with one gateway. So gateways are built by the Empire using technology, but there's also wormholes, which are a natural phenomenon. I can't pronounce that word, obviously. So this is like a man-made wormhole, but I'm pretty sure I only chose one, so I'm not sure if that's one set or one gateway, which means it's not connected to anything. We'll have to wait and see, but that should be this thing down here. Again, where are my science? Oh, okay. Oh! Well, there you go, 2 gateways. I don't understand, because I only chose for 1 to be built. And there are 3 planets in here. Any of them... Nah. Continental 19. So if that's above, like, 60%, I can colonize that. But if I colonize here, that's going to create border friction. They're going to hate me for it. Desert world's just 80%. Oh, jeez. I've got to colonize that. That will just help expand my empire out this way. Plus, I'll have control of that gateway. Stuff it. Might cause some friction, but it will be worth... Hey, where are you going? Why don't you just go through here? Oh, the pirate. Oh, you'd have to go all the way around, so he's going around this way instead of going around that way. Okay. And again, if I can build the empire... Okay, that's a dead world or something. 15%, not really a habitable world for me, so it's taken off the list. But once I research genetic engineering and stuff, my people can alter their genetics to habitat that world, so bring it up to like 25% and so forth and so what. A desert world is like a continental, but just dry. So that, yeah, you can, again, I mean, why is it still in the... Okay, I'd assume you can colonize a 20%, but there's no point in it. But you can't colonize a 15 because it's just so uninhabitable. Okay, so I will get this continental world straight away. Okay, you can build that now. Surely you can. I'll do that. Oh, I forgot to move him over. That's why it's changed. Okay. So once he's built this, I will move him over here and build the mining stations, and I'll move him back here, and then I'll just keep building mining stations all the way through. Get my mineral output. Why did it drop to 29? Oh, one of the planets must have built something that cost an energy to maintain. Okay. So he's building his way up through here. So I want to build a space station here and then see if I can build that gas mining thing where 2 energy for 5 mineral. But I'm assuming I'm going to have to upgrade it to a starbase, which brings me to a total of 3. But I want to keep that starbase for over here, because if I can build a starbase here, I can put weapons platforms on it and defend this gateway. Actually, I want to see what this gateway looks like. I don't see it. Oh, over here. Okay, so... Okay, so obviously the 2 things connect with an energy beam, opening a hole in space and send your ships through it. Okay, this game is... when we started it was pop-ups everywhere, now it's going really slow again. Okay, so we'll see what the factions... They hate us. Whoa! How do we get plus 63 with these guys? As trade terms, rivaling, non-aggression pact. Okay. I don't know what these two are. They must be new to this game, this version.
System survey complete.
Okay, so they're obviously at war with someone. They don't want to go to war with us. See, this here, the reason they haven't done this is either there's a
Construction complete.
mining drone, or maybe the other empire is actually within this sector. So if I travel through here and they're at war and I meet up one of the enemy ships fighting them, I might actually get contact with them. Okay, so this one is finished building the mining outpost. There we go, build more. This constructor, send him over. Actually no, I'll have him. Can he? 200. Oh, damn it. I won't be able to build over there for a long time, so I'm going to have to... Hang on, I didn't build one there, did I? Oh, I did, okay. But as you can see, this big blob now. About a little over half the size of that one. Yeah, they're all roughly the same size. These two are smaller than him. But I'm about the half the size of these two. So once I build my stations out here and get more energy out of it, I can really start growing. Now, and again, this is like really, really up there. So let's have a look at our research. 24 months for an 1800, whereas that's 129 for an 1800. So it's got the same amount of points needed to research. I've got so much bonus in here that this is just flying through that large bonus, that large amount. So what happened? Oh, another. Awesome. Don't really care. Okay, let's have a look. So I've got to check the faction to see if the happiness went up. The influence. From factions, 0.85. So obviously I'm getting 0.85 happiness from having all these adopted. So I want to adopt this, then those two first, because that's the one I really want, and then I'll go for these three just to have those 5 done, making the other faction happy, and also get another perk. So I'll adopt this. Okay. Now for another 80 months at 23. So as that goes up, this will drop from 80 to 79 and so forth. So hopefully that will happen quick. Okay, so I want to go back to Earth, and I want to, there you go, upgrade this to a hollow temple. Okay, so that'll put out another 2, making it 25. Okay, so nothing I can do there. And what's my food source? +2, because I've upgraded all the food plants, so it went from 0 to +2.
System survey complete.
Again, once this is fully populated, he might move to Alpha Centauri if they need it. Or he might move to the Gaia planet, because it's a big, healthy planet that they can populate. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, they're moving there. You can see that they're moving there because there's no way the Gaia planet could use that much population that quick. So obviously, yeah, they're moving to other planets within the system. This didn't happen as fast in the last game, so I'm assuming this is an upgrade to the game. Again, I'm going 14 instead of 10, so that's actually going up as I build mining stations. 20. And I think as long as the planets were within your influence, not that one, this one, you can terraform them. Now I don't have the technology to do it, but it takes like 10 years to terraform it, and last time it cost energy up to about 20,000 energy to terraform it from one extreme to the other. But it's like starts at 3,000, working its way up depending on the type of planet it is. So I can terraform all 3 of these planets into continental worlds.
Construction complete.
21, 14, and 13 size, and that would be one system. So instead of going up to 4 or 5, it'll be 2 or 5, because it'll just be one system with 3 planets in it. So systems are self-governing in themselves, so you can have as many planets in there as you like, but it's the sector itself. Okay.
Construction complete.
You can now come over and... Constructor doesn't seem to be doing anything, but we'll leave that alone for now. I'll just move you here.
System survey complete.
So that constructor's not doing it. I'll have them build a outpost. A little research in there. That's awesome. Okay. New faction. Extreme centralization of political. So they want us to build our military up. So I'm just going to pause this, go to faction, see what this fourth faction wants. Happiness is at 35, so they started off angry. So let's see why. They want us to change our political view. So instead of having the descendants rule, they want us to have a different sort of voting system. They want us to purge. Ah, jeez. What's it? One of these didn't want us to purge at all. This one wants us to purge, so you can't win. Okay. Whoa, they're growing really fast. They've gone up 2, they've gone up 7. I think they started at 3, so they've gone up 9. This is ridiculous. Okay, let's see. Keeping the sector. Okay, so this is what I'm saying. Well, I don't waste money on governors because I just don't see the point. If I don't have a governor in each system, it makes them unhappy. So I've got to put a governor on Alpha Centauri and the Gaia planet to make these guys happy. I've got to I've got to adopt all 5 in the Dominion. So that's this one, domination. I've got to get all these 5 to make them happy. Ah, gee whiz. Subject nation. Well, I don't even have any subject nations at this point, so that doesn't really matter. But once these primitive worlds upgrade themselves to a spacefarer, I can probably make them subject to us. It's not something I want to do. I want to incorporate them. So my whole basis of a federation build has now come into question because this one faction doesn't want a federation; it wants to conquer. Okay, so I'm going to have to, which one was it? Just to get rid of this one, -5, to bring that back to 0 or even +5, I'm going to have to put a governor on both sectors. So we'll just do that for the sake of it. So Alpha Centauri was the energy one, so if anything outputs energy. Okay, so instead of costing 200, he's going to cost 100 because she is cheaper than the other one. It doesn't cost as much. Tile blockers is something that doesn't really matter, and tile blockers. Oh jeez, these are useless. I'll get this one just because it's cheapest and available. And then for this one, I wanted that. You can see that that research option isn't there. Oh, there we go, there we go. The research option wasn't here because every time you come into this, the governor tree updates. So the research, I'm going to have to increase the food output of Alpha Centauri somehow. Surface. Do I have an empty block? No, I don't. See, you can see that they've cleared their own tiles now. All these were yellow. They've cleared them and built what they need on them. They'll go by, if that's a mineral output, you can see here, originally it was a mineral, originally food. Okay, why is that energy? Was that me? No, they did that. Why would they do that? What's the energy output? More than enough. But they need food. They need 1, 2, 3, 4 food. I'm going to change that for them. Replace that with a farm. That will give them more food. And then again with the Gaia planet, we'll have a look at this. They're focusing on energy. That was originally an energy, research, mineral. Ooh, I have to upgrade the shelter. So I've got to research this. Oh no, I've got it researched. So I've got to save up another 300 mineral so I can upgrade this. And once that's upgraded, I can upgrade the food. But this empire, this sector itself should be producing minerals. 4 plus 1. So it's not producing enough minerals at this point. Eek. So what I might do, where are we? So this one, if I give them these two systems, that had what, +3 minerals, and that's only got energy. So that will give them 4 minerals to work with. Is there any planets up here? No. So if I give them this one, they'll give them 6 minerals. I might have to get this one up here, and then have the energy go downwards. And so instead of having this go that way and that way go that one, I'm going to have to reverse it. So I'm going to manage the sector. Manage it, and I'm going to add, see, as you can see, I can't add any of these because they're not within my influence, and I can't add this one because it's not connected. But once I add this one, it's going to be connected. It might be an option. So we'll see. You've got this one, highlight, there we go, highlight, there we go. So that's one system of planets. So they will colonize those planets once they get above a certain percentage, like 80, I think. This one is 20, so I'll give them that one. That gives them more energy. Sirius. They may colonize this at some point, but not this early on in the game. Okay, so I can't actually add this one because it is actually my starting empire. If I move my home planet to another planet, then this just becomes another planet that can be added to another sector. But because this is the first sector, this planet itself is the sector, it won't actually add to another sector. What's this? So that's 5. That's 5 systems that it can colonize. I'll close that off. Okay. Oh, I'm pausing. Damn it, I keep forgetting I'm paused. Okay, I'm going to make this a little bit faster, although I think I've been going for close to an hour again. So what I normally do is I'll film about an hour. I will re-watch that hour. If it's good quality, I'll post it. The only problem is that when I save a game, let's have a why in the middle of nowhere? It's not where I am. Pause that. Why is this science vessel doing nothing? Okay, I don't know. So what I try to do is I'll watch what I just recorded. If it's good quality, I'll post it to YouTube immediately. So after this, I'll watch about an hour. I'll format the video to YouTube, and then I'll probably film another one. So over the next couple of days, I might get 2 or 3 out a day. Over a 3-hour period, I'll post a new video. The only problem is that when I save the game, I save it to the last file just to show that I am playing the same game through. So if this video doesn't show up well, any others don't produce well, I pretty much lost the video, and then I've got to explain in the next video that it didn't actually work. So I'm just going to save this game. Where are we here? Save it as 2-bar, agree, and then exit out, exit the desktop. So this is the end of the Stellaris video, but I'm just going to go on for a few minutes on my desktop to show you what I've got, and explain what I plan to do. Yes. So these are the platforms I've got. I've got Steam, I've got Blizzard or Battle.net, Uplay, and Origins. And then here I can't seem to save the icon for Arc up here, but I've got Arc as well. I'm pretty sure there are more platforms out there. I'm pretty sure that some of these games that I've got on Uplay you might be able to get on Steam or something. But for now, on Steam, out of all the things I'm doing Stellaris. But once I've got myself settled, I'll start doing other things. Now I really want to do the Fallout, but the Fallout's got swearing in it. And as far as I know, the YouTube content won't actually allow non-family values sort of content. What I want to try to do is make a little bit of money from YouTube. It's what everyone tries to do, just a bit of extra income. So I probably won't be able to do Fallout. But Galactic Civilizations is very similar to Stellaris. It's just a slightly different build. The technology tree is very different. And actually, I prefer the technology tree in Galactic Civilizations because you actually see where you want to go. So if anyone knows what a technology tree looks like, it's basically one square, then the next column has 2 squares, and you can actually, once you research this, you can go to research option 1 or option 2, and then once you research option 1, you can go to another 1 or 2, but you can't research 2 and 2 because you haven't researched 2. But what you can do is you can research this one here, and what it will do is it will go through all the research options beforehand to get to that one, and once that one's finished, it'll let you know that that option's finished and you can research something else. So if you really want to get yourself some energy weapons, you don't really care about rockets, you want to get the energy weapons because you know they're pretty good in that game, you click on laser level 5 and it will go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it won't worry about the rockets or anything because it will just go through that tree. So Galactic Civilizations 3 is another one I want to try. You got the outposts and all that sort of stuff, maintenance. It's very similar, but it's a completely different gameplay. RimWorld is pretty much you're just on a planet and you've got to survive. Your ship has crash landed, or your escape pod has crash landed on this alien planet, and you've got to survive it. You can choose so many different options within this. I've got a few mods, but again, I'll delete the mods before I start a game, just so we can see what the game looks in vanilla without any mods on it. And XCOM, I think there might be swearing in that. I might have to play around with that for an hour or two, just to see if there's any swearing in it. If there's not, I'll play it, but I'm almost certain there's a bit of a vulgar language in there. StarCraft, I'm pretty sure there's no swearing, and that's a game I really love to play, especially this number 2 has been pretty good. The only reason I want to try to play level 1 is because they've actually released an update for the graphics, so everything is sharper. It used to be pixelated, like a very pixelated game. Now it's a very sharper, rounded image. Anno is basically the world has suffered global warming, I think. Yeah, global warming, and the planet has flooded. Basically, everyone lives on giant ships, boats and stuff. That's 2070. And what you've got to try to do is keep your environmental balance equal so that the citizens are happy, but some of the citizens are only happy if you build certain products that pollute. So when you pollute, you've got to build cleaning stations that clean the air that you've just polluted. So you've really got to keep it balanced. It's really fidgety. Then with 2205, it's very similar to this one, but instead, once you've built your city up on Earth, you send a colony ship to the moon, and then you've got to build up resources on the moon. And now the people on Earth want specific technologies or resources that can only be built on the moon. So you've got to send resources from Earth to the moon to mix with resources from the moon to build products to send back to Earth. It's I like it. It was kind of fun the last time I played. I don't think I actually finished the game. I only played a bit of it and then stopped because Fallout 4 came out, and I pretty much spent the last year just playing that constantly. I really enjoyed this game. I've played it through a few times. It's really fun, but again, a bit of swearing, I might not play it. Might and Magic is an older game. This is number 10. I think they're up to like 12 or 13 now, and I've been playing it since the 4th or 5th one. Yeah, they're kind of a turn-based strategy game. Number 10 was very different from the previous ones. I didn't quite like it as much as I did the other ones, because you've got to do a specific road. You can't just do whatever you want. You've got to do specific roads. So right next to the home base where you start, the city where you start, there's a little haunted castle off to the right. It's fairly far away on the map, but it's one of the closer spots. But you can't actually attack that to late game. Even though it's right next door, you can't actually attack it to late game, so you've got to go all the way up to the top of the map, do this thing, work your way around, and you just go level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5, level 6, and then you just keep going all the way. That's the one thing I don't like about this game. With the other ones, you could just free roam and just do whatever you wanted. Command and Conquer, even if you've never played these games, I'm sure you must have heard of them. They're pretty good. I like them. It's basically... I'm not sure if it's the same creators as StarCraft, but the graphics are very similar. Very similar graphics to the original StarCraft. StarCraft 2 is a 3D sort of gameplay. This is a 2D screen gameplay. And then Command & Conquer Generals, I think, goes to a 3D, but it's all Earth-based, whereas this is space-based. Star Trek Online. If you're not a Trekkie, you probably won't bother with watching these ones, but I'm a Trekkie, so I'm going to do it. I really like the way that they kept canon in there. Like anything that was from the original series, they've kept as canon. And then they've added their own flair to it. So if you remember in I think it was the second, at the end of the first or the second season, the Federation was being infested by these little pink parasites that took control of higher levels. They've actually done an entire story arc based on these aliens just on the outer border of the Federation space. So they've actually continued on the canon, just adding a bit of flair, because as of when Voyager gets home, that's the last Star Trek TV series. But after that, with the new J.J. Abrams Star Trek, Romulan star system was destroyed. they've actually carried on where the Romulans are actually now looking for a home planet. So that one, if you're a Star Trek fan and you want to immerse yourself in the Star Trek universe, that is a really good game for yourself. But if you're not a Trekkie, you probably won't like it. But if you like space games, you probably like it just for the space fights. It's free to play. You don't actually have to buy anything. There are bonuses within the game you have to buy, but if you keep doing the options that they give you, you do get free rewards. So it's good. It's not like you have to buy to win. There is no win scenario. It's an endless game. So the only way you need to start a new game is if you're sick of playing the Federation, you can actually play as Klingon Empire and the Romulan Empire. So that's a good one for yourself if you're into Star Trek or even space battles. It's pretty good. Let's see what else. What was it? Wasn't Steam. I think it was Arc. So I'll just open Arc up and show you this. Yep, connect. Yep, I know. Actually, I thought I had this all out. Why are these all closed up? I didn't close any of them. I must have reset. Computer must have reset itself after updating itself. Okay. So what I want to do is go to shop. Oh, there you go, Subnautica. Bam, right at the beginning. I've seen the promotional video for this. I suggest you go and check it out. Basically, again, like RimWorld, your ship has crash landed on an ocean planet. There's few islands, but basically the whole point of this is to build a under-ocean base. So you start off in the shallows, where your ship's crashed on the shallows. So the ship's actually sitting on the bottom of the water, but it's above the water because it's landed in a shallow place. There's one small island off to the distance that I'm aware of, and then it's a matter of just building bigger, stronger stations so you can get bigger and stronger weapons and bigger and stronger food resources. So at the beginning, all you do is you're in a scuba suit and you just swim around. That's all you do. You find resources, you go back to your original pod, you turn those resources into tools, and eventually you can upgrade the tools and everything, and then eventually your pod, which has a little sort of replicator on it, it actually expands into a base, or you might have to build some base around your pod, and once that happens you just build sections onto it. So that one looks like a lot of fun. I've seen someone called Gopher. Gopher does a gaming channel, but he's a lot better at it than I could ever be. He's playing something called The Forest. Basically, your plane crash lands on an island, and the island just seems to be infested with these ghoulish monsters. It's really weird game. If you're into weird, you'll love The Forest. But Subnautica is like a ocean version. Instead of being surrounded by ghouls and monsters, you're surrounded by alien fish. So in the video itself, it actually shows you some sort of giant underwater spider thing. It's really, they've done a lot of good graphics in this. So I really want to have a look at that. But again, I think it's $25. Learn more. Where are we? $25 US. So that's probably close to 27 or 28 Australian dollars in Australia. So yeah. So if you go to just type Subnautica into your Google, if you don't have this platform or any other platform, like you probably get that on Steam as well. But I know it's here. So if you type that in and you watch the video, you'll see what I'm talking about. So that's basically what you see. That might be a bit different, but there's these caves, there's fish. You can grab the fish, you can harpoon the fish, you turn the fish into food. Oh, there's your replicator. It's replicating what looks like an oxygen tank, so you can survive underwater for longer. And then as you get further along in the game, you get bigger animals, you go deeper into the ocean, you build outposts, and you just expand on that outpost. So even just showing you this, and you can see this giant squid. So that's bigger than this thing, you know, it's a huge squid. So as you get deeper, there's more dangerous weapons. Oh, there you go. You got some sort of replicating gun that helps you build pods and stuff. Yeah, and again, it says right here, play your way. So you can stay in the shallows, but if you do that, you won't be getting the resources you need to build bigger, better things. You've got to go deeper to get different resources. Again, you kill fish for food. I don't know if there's certain fish you have to kill for other things. I know there's something you've got to kill and you get poison from it. I could be thinking of a different game, but I'm pretty sure you can kill something and get poison. So Subnautica is something I really want to focus on getting later on. Oh, okay, it's opened its own window. There you go. So your ship crashes into the shallows. You can see the island in the background there, and it's just the same thing that was on the other one. So yeah, that's something I really. Oh, I uploaded one video just earlier. Close all windows. No, don't. Close all. I don't want to do every option. Do it by mistake. Okay, so that's all for this video. If you want me to focus on any of these games in the future, let me know. If you work on any of these platforms, let me know which ones you prefer me to focus on, so you can actually see. But like I said, I think Subnautica, I'm pretty sure Subnautica is also on the Steam platform. So if there's any games you want me to just to play the first few hours of, so you can see for yourself whether or not it's worth getting, you know, let me know and I'll do it. But I always, even if I don't like a game, I've paid for it, I play it. I play it, and eventually, if I don't like it, I end up liking it just because I didn't realise there was later game technologies just make the game so different. Like RimWorld, you start off with little farms and you can build internal farms. You start off with little energy, then you build bigger energy. So RimWorld starts off slow. It's a slow paced game, but overall, it's a very good game. There's different ways to finish. Either you survive to a certain time frame, or you build your technology to a certain level by a time frame. You can actually build a ship and just leave the planet. So you start off with like an escape pod, and then you build your own starship with escape pods on it. So yeah, RimWorld is a very in-depth, if you're into nitpicking and getting into the nitty-gritty of things, RimWorld's a very good game. So yeah, I probably might do RimWorld next to Stellaris or Galactic Civilizations, not because they're both on Steam, but because these two are very good. I want to show you how similar but different Galactic Civilizations is, and then with RimWorld, I like playing that. It's just a fun game. It's a very, very slow game, very, very, very slow game, but you can save it whenever you want. I'm pretty sure, like Stellaris, there's an Iron Man mode where you have to play, but I always turn that off. Once you've learnt what you want to learn, you turn the Iron Man mode on and get the trophies for completing certain goals. Okay, so they're the games I've got at the moment, the ones I would like to look at. But again, I might just delete those two off there because they got swearing in it, and I want to try to get some money from this. So we'll just have to see in the future how we go. And I'm well over an hour because I've been rambling like an idiot. Okay, so we'll just stop this, and I'll see you next time.